I'm going to call attention to the meeting. We're going to forego the Pledge of Allegiance, so open this special meeting up for the baseball fields to go over and take a peek and see what we need to do to make them safe for the kids, and hopefully get this all straightened out, contract ready to go, so you guys can start playing ball. So at this time, I guess I'm going to make a motion that we take this meeting over to the ball fields. So we can inspect the fences. There's a gentleman that should be over there, I think, from a fence company to give us some ideas what needs to be done. So at that point, those of you who want to go.
I'll make that motion, or I'll second that motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ed?
Mark.
Yes. Okay. I'm kind of lazy.
Yeah, there's corn out here.
There's some corn out here in Deerfield.
This used to be the Green Almost G-Field. I remember this was new. They built this.
Listen, what do you say about too much chocolate?
Sorry.
Is there something you said?
I got yelled at.
You said, even more coffee because we wanted to go to breakfast.
Yeah, they got biscuits and gravy and eggs.
And I was like,
everywhere.
who is the talker? And I did say, I said, have you met Brent? He doesn't talk. Oh, this is the darling.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, then we had a fence guy come,
Oh, yeah, when I was moving.
and
I was the babysitter.
where's he gonna come down here?
Hey, he's on his way.
Yeah, he's on his way. There were some things that Timmy didn't realize,
Okay.
I guess. I haven't talked to the gentleman, but Buddy and them did. We do know that these have to come out
Right.
on all the fields because they're just not safe.
Right.
And just use regular chairs or something.
We had spoke about at the last meeting about the bleacher tops. Did you guys think about any of that, Ed?
The bleachers, our insurance said no.
Oh, they did?
Because there's
Yeah.
no backs or no sides on them, and they do not meet the safety requirements.
Okay.
That's why they were taken out 3 or 4 years ago, even before this all started.
Right.
But the caps aren't allowed either, just for aluminum caps for seats.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah, we
That's what we
can
with.
talk about that. We've got caps.
Okay.
So all the benches on all the fields have to come out?
Yeah, they're rotted into the ground.
Yeah.
And they're just not safe.
That's how far they're raised out of the ground
yeah.
right there from frost.
Yeah, right.
They should be cleared out.
That's what I was like, they're like so tall. Yeah.
Frost heaped them out over the last
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
What about some of our new tables and picnic benches and stuff? Maybe we can put some of those out here until we can come out with a better
That's what those
solution,
picnic
so-
tables are for, to come out here in the park.
Right, and that's okay for the parents, but the kids in and out of the innings.
Yeah, they
you know
have
what
to
they're
have
for,
something
Ed.
here.
It's the bench. So that's something we're definitely going to have to discuss because we just can't.
What do we got in there? 6 or 8 picnic tables? 6, I think.
So we would need a bench comparable to this side on
Both sides.
both sides.
Both sides.
Okay. I mean, maybe that's even something.
backs on them?
Not-
No. No.
We can maybe get, so soccer has like these, they're like camping chairs, but they're like 8 feet long, and they just pop out.
And they have separate seating for each individual.
We talked about that up at the meeting, huh?
Yeah.
Right now, we'll see if we can get.
Or maybe
So
even
they
reach out to
understand
the
what we
community and see if anybody would be interested in donating some benches. That's a possibility too. I think people would be excited enough about the baseball coming back to potentially do something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'll have to check into the rules if they have to be a stationary
here
bench
now?
out.
Well, just remember though, we put a levee on 4 years ago, and it went down like in flames for the ball to do improvements to this park. We put a levee on, and it went down big time, hard. So that tells me that
It was only a 0.5 mil levy, too.
yeah,
real
and
small
they
levy.
still, it tells me that the people really didn't want to pay any extra money to upgrade, to do anything with the park. I mean, it went down pretty hard.
Was that when the kids were here then?
Just after.
Maybe we could revisit it now that they know they're coming back to play.
I'm more optimistic about it than you are. I think maybe getting some help with that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not gonna
there's
try, right?
there's some organizations
Doesn't
like
have to try.
Deerfield Farms
Mm-hmm.
that have always been big with the ball. With
And
the
we
ball.
can put a
right.
plaque
You know.
or something behind the benches, and you know, since we'll have a lot of people in and out of here potentially, it would be nice.
Yeah, there's a
So-
possibility that these things might have to be stationary. I'm not sure how it works, but they
Oh, yeah,
definitely
that's a good point.
have to have a spot for the kids. If you're going to ride the pine, then you need some pine to ride. So that's something we can talk about for sure.
And then there as well.
Do you guys feel like all of them, all fields, these benches are out of?
And they're probably all the
Well,
same.
Right.
Look when we get there.
Yeah, and here comes the fence guy right here, so he can kind of tell us what he's seen. I don't know who he is. I haven't
Billy
met him,
died, yeah.
but we'll see what he had. I guess this guy does fencing, and
Yeah.
They don't look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to be pretty, but they just have to be safe.
correct.
We can worry about pretty down the road.
And I'll take you. And I.
Okay.
Stuff, tighten up corners, things like that.
So you're a fence guy, correct?
Okay, so can you guys walk your way through and take a peek and see what's happening?
Yeah.
And kind of explain to us what needs to be done to get these things safe.
Our immediate need is safety so the kids can play. It doesn't necessarily have to be pretty at this point in time. We want the kids here playing.
Okay, well, I saw a lot of loose things. All the top rail, not all of it, but certain ones have the loop caps came out of the rail, came out of the loop caps. There's some tie wires. I wasn't really sure what you wanted to do with like some of the posts that are really loose. Do you want to reset them? Did you want to reset them, or I might be able to do something? You want to keep the cost down pretty much, don't you?
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to put a lot of money into this fence because it's old.
Right.
But I mean, I can tidy everything up. I mean, if like over there's holes in the fence which we'd have to fix for sure. Somebody will get cut on them. You can see the sharp wire if you walk over on this side over here. I'll show you. I mean, I just gave it a really quick look, and then Bud said you had that meeting. But see, like up there, the rails out.
Oh yeah, I see it.
They have these here that you can replace them with, which are better.
Right.
Which I like them better. They don't pop out as easy as they do up there. But
Okay.
you got to realize this has been up here for so long, and everything has shifted. You know, during the frost and like. I know there was a couple of them that you can see how soft the ground is. I mean, there's hardly anything in there.
We could potentially concrete those and get them stabilized, or
Yeah, we can dig around them and concrete them. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's what you want me to do, you know.
So,
and then, like
like
a couple of these have holes in them. You know, the kids will cut themselves real
So
quick
what do you
on
got?
that. I have some wire. I could put some new wire on this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
patch it.
Well, put new on. Just stretch a new piece of fence
Such a
across
new-
here.
a new piece from-
Yeah, I would do this piece here. You got a hole here.
Right.
You got this one here. It's all stretched out. You know what I mean? It's pretty
Post
much.
needs replaced, it looks like.
Yeah. The post. I seen the post was laying over there when I looked. All of them need a little bit of tender love and care. Some of the posts are all loose. You know, the ones that are loose, I would tighten up, reset them. There was a backstop up over there. You know, some of the stuff just needs adjusted, tie wired off, and put back together. And there might be a couple pulls. I didn't get a figure because I didn't really, you know, I knew you guys were having your meeting today. I
Right.
didn't get a price together, but I can go around and itemize everything and get a price for you and then let you know. I just wanted to feel you guys out and see what you really wanted me to do.
Basically just get it. It doesn't have to be pretty, but
Yeah,
you be safe.
Yeah, get it somewhat decent. It's hard to take used and make it look, I mean, you can make it look good, but you don't want to put a lot of time in this.
We're just looking for them to be tightened up, Bill, and it's mainly the out of play
Yep.
and the backstops because they're taking down the outfield fences, right?
Yeah.
They're all coming down.
Yeah, that one is coming down.
Yeah.
Now, those over here are not.
Yeah, we're gonna straighten this
That
out.
one where the tree was at, I think you were talking about just capping it. Put a new pole. End it right there.
That's what you guys want.
Leave
You
it.
want to bring that across over. You know what I mean? I didn't know if you wanted to fix that hole there or just leave it wide open for the age groups that play there. Yeah. Yes, like there were some tie wires up there. I mean, I could put a cap on that up there. I seen some of the caps are missing, but you can see your bands are up. So wait, that's a flat cap, so we're good. I'm pretty sure that's a flat cap up there. Maybe it ain't. That's band. Well, we don't have to worry about that way up there. Nobody's going to see that, but the caps aren't even on it. I can see the bands are up so high.
Right.
But I mean, a little bit of adjustments to tie wires.
That's just what I was saying. I think we said I can get something done for this year.
The frost is just, you know what I mean?
Every year we used to
down
come
here.
around with the backhoe and push them back in. We haven't done it in 4 years, 5 years.
And it's so soft now, you can get these down.
Yeah,
pressure
I
wash.
think if we bring the excavator, we can do that and put new tops on them or something and get by this year.
And some of these tops, this bitch here don't look too
Yeah,
bad.
a little scraping and painting could
Yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
a lot of difference.
Pressure wash it and throw it.
Yeah.
That's still
Yeah,
pretty
that one over
solid.
there was
Yeah, it's a pretty good patch.
Tighten up some bolts.
These caps wouldn't be hard enough,
That's
hard
pretty
to
solid.
replace.
We may be able to save a lot of these.
I think these benches you can work with. That some of them now, the one down there is peeled clear up, so it could need a top cap. But I think you'd be surprised if they was pushed down.
Yep, I think so. That's what we were just talking about.
Save
I
you a
think
lot
we
of
can
money.
make that happen.
I'm wondering if we can't get the parts. Can our guys do that kind of fencing?
Well, we really have no way of getting up high like that. We don't have any lifts or anything to do that. The only thing, we'd have to rent a lift or whatever. We don't have any.
Honestly, we'll go in here and do this all will be out of here. And now he's going to treat you like
That's
plus
kind of
I
what I'm
know.
thinking.
2,000.
Well, it's just the big concern is all of this has to come out of our general fund, which is almost non-existent right now. We just don't have a lot of money in the
Right.
general fund to cover it. We can't pull from other venues to do that. So we just have to be very conservative with the money that we put into it. And, you know, I would like to do this very pretty and have it done up, but
Oh,
for
yeah.
now we have to just try to get it serviceable and put
And
a
I
little,
didn't expect any more.
put a
Tightened
little
up,
bit of elbow grease into it so we can make it safe, and then
tightened up in the sharp edges so the
upgrade-
kids don't get cut.
upgrade with time when we have, you know, the availability.
Is as good as anywhere else we've got right now. So if these were tightened up and the
We just
stitches cause her sticking
right,
out,
just
were
don't want
tightened up,
anybody to get hurt.
sure. And then if you save quite a bit on the benches, that'll help because the fences are the key. These
I
benches.
still might even reach out and see if we can get some benches donated. I mean, it's a possibility.
It is, but I think we can restore a lot of these benches. I don't think they're all that horrible. They're pressure washed and painted and pushed back down. What do you think, Joel? Push them down. Push down. All it is fast. Once you push down, it's down, go over there, it comes back up to the put all the water out. This one takes some efficiency. They don't have to have backs on it. That one's peeling up with a new top cap on it. And it's good enough to stay on the face, you know. But you gotta have it. And I tell you,
No, I mean, they just pulled a quickie on this. They didn't put bands up here or anything like that. You know what I mean? This usually gets a hookup like that. Every stretch is a hookup, you know what I mean? So you can hook up right here or just wrap it back around like it was. I mean, it doesn't matter. This still works just as good.
So that has to be off. That's
Yeah.
gonna come out.
Yeah, I'd dig all these out and just reset them. I don't have to really remove the fence. I can just knock that off.
But I'm talking about
And
the bottom of the tight
I would,
fence.
yeah, drop this down and put a different kind of fence on here so nobody gets hooked on that.
Okay.
That's sort of dangerous right there. I think these poles here need it best
Is
with.
that the same over here on the
All
field
these
number
are just,
one?
like barely in.
Right. Okay.
I'd probably do a lot of resetting. And this stuff here needed checked out too.
Yep.
Pretty much, you know, a lot of it needs a little bit of tender love and care.
Okay.
You know, this has probably been up for years, 30
Oh yeah.
or more.
Oh yeah.
Today's not the best day to check them.
No, it's all the softness. Yeah.
Well, it's something much here.
Oh boy.
That one down there, they want to take the post off, put a dead end post like this.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I see. A lot of money. Well, because this has to be replaced. That
Well, we
fence
knew
has to be
that.
replaced. So is that he knew that before that?
Yeah.
When
and
he,
them
when he
two-
came,
Them two up there need
the same thing.
Yeah.
And then all these posts got to be reset.
Yeah, he told us that.
Now these right here, are they rotted into the ground?
I don't know. I will push them down.
No, I'm wondering if we could just cut those off and, like you said, take and put one of those aluminum benches, cap it. Easy peasy.
Cameraman moved in over where at. I want to walk in this. I want to walk in this early in the morning.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Once. Plus, it's really wet here too. I've noticed. You know.
It's wet here in August.
Yeah. It's wet everywhere right now too. But I noticed it's a little wet. And,
This has got to come out.
Yeah, I've seen that right away.
Or cut off level or below ground or something.
Yeah,
That's
that's no problem there. You know, there's just some tie wires missing here and there. Other than that, this seems pretty decent.
There's posters up laying there.
Yeah, I was just saying, we got some parts.
We can get rid of anything we don't need.
Yeah. Yeah, we can use some parts here we can use with some nice. I know that one.
And then that one there, we can just go ahead and cut off and just
Yeah,
end
Is that
it.
what you're thinking? Not even stretch that? Just
No, just
take
end it
off?
right where she's at,
We'll,
right that
we'll end
way.
it at a post or something. And
Yeah, we'll have to
Take
take
this
one of
post
these
out.
out. Or if we have one laying around somewhere. That's a terminal, and that would go at the end.
And it's not necessary to have this
Set
for
down in the ground and
for
just be
baseball.
covered.
It's right behind the.
Yeah, normally you'll put 2.5 right
Okay.
here.
I mean, it's going to go underneath the fence anyhow.
Everywhere the fence stops. is a
Well, they're
hookup.
gonna.
Lower some of them.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's still get through the ball.
Yeah, we don't
that's
need
what I
it.
would say.
Just end it.
End this somewhere right in here.
See, like in
Or even back there.
See, like this right here, you got it. It's apart here. Now, is that something you'd want fixed too?
Well, what I would say is if we could end, I mean, if we had to, just come back here and end it here.
I can end it wherever you want.
You know what I mean?
See how
Instead of trying to
that's
fix this one, ends it right there.
yeah.
Those are all okay, kinda, I think.
Yeah, the rest of these seem okay.
Yeah,
Instead of fixing this one,
Yeah.
and then putting an end one there, just
Put
stop it
put
right
the
there.
post right there and end the fence.
Child safety pads.
That one's up too, isn't it?
Yeah, what I think what happened is some of these might have came up, and then that makes that, you know, the
Caps here, so we
Yeah.
can probably
drop it back in there. Miss it too. Yeah, I mean, it ain't too bad, just nitpicking it. No.
Still on this side of the sod. Is this the first he's looked at it? He actually, me and him did walk along like that. Yeah, did he give a price on that? No, he just going over it. He then seen something like that.
His field, his. Oh, the grass. No? Did they take that one out back there in the corner? They take that two back there? Well, there used to be a field right on the other side of that one. Up here, then there's another one on down behind that building. I know they took it out. I didn't know they took that one. There used to be 5 fields over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you're not worried about this barbed wire, I mean, the barbs on the bottom are dangerous. I mean, I learned a long time ago. You know, the kids come out here with flip-flops on in the summer and stuff, and you got to worry about them, you know,
Got
banging
little
around.
sister out there on this side, and the big brother's
Yeah.
warming up, and she's been on her toes.
Yeah, we had some dog get caught on that stuff before and get cut. So
Alright, so we're going out to the show, and I don't want to hold you to it, but in a guesstimate cost, we talking $2,000, $3,000? What are we talking?
probably somewhere around 3.
Around the 3,000 to get everything done.
You can't get, you know how wages went up now,
Oh yeah.
and all the materials are sky high. You can't even, I wish it was $20 an hour back when we were around. Yeah, 15, 20.
Start off there.
Yeah, like all this will have to be done, right?
All that. Up top, above your head.
Yeah.
All that one's apart, completely out there. There's some messing around to do.
Okay.
Most
You
of the
know,
man hours.
How long did it take you to get it?
What do you mean, done?
Yeah.
Well, if I get an okay, then I would, it would probably be, I've got like 50 sections of, I mean, it depends how soon you need it done. As soon as,
Yesterday?
before the ball field gets started, huh?
Right.
Even if you could do one and let us know it's ready, we could start off right behind you.
Yeah, I could probably get here next week. Right, probably towards the end of the week, and then I can, I guess I could go ahead and jump on it after the end of the week.
$3,000.
We don't have it.
What?
We don't have it.
Well, we kind of. How much you guys can put towards this?
We'll negotiate.
All right.
We got a little.
And like I said, I'll be taking some poles off, and like these right here, I'll drop them down to the right height.
As long as we're not going solo, I'm.
We'll talk about
And
it.
I'll drop these down, and I'll cut these off and make them look nice, a little bit better. You know what I mean? They don't have to be that tall.
Okay.
I don't,
I wish we
I'll
had-
cut them out. I'll do some doctoring up, some tie
I
wires.
understand, but we'll
I'll change this fence right here so the barbed wire's off.
All right. Well, let's
And
go
get started
to,
and we'll go from there.
back to the town hall. And can you, Buddy's got your number,
Yeah.
so we can contact you.
And then if you need something written up, I can do that too.
Yeah, we will need
We
something
will
written.
need something written
As
up
soon
once
as
we make a
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can.
Give me a closer exact estimate. We're saying right around the $3,000 range.
Yeah.
So if
I'll
it's
walk around here
32
if you guys leave again and just
Okay.
write some things down and figure out what kind of concrete I'm going to need and my parts. And I can get a better.
Yeah, if you would, that would be great.
And I'll do that now.
Buddy, you wanna make sure you get his stuff? You have his contact.
Do you have a card on you?
No, I don't have any contact. They're in my other truck. But it's down. I don't need the ball.
Now, one time that was around that post.
Be able to find it.
Broke off. We're not as bad as we
Oh, I think we're worse.
Do you?
Yeah.
I
I didn't think it was as bad. I did.
330
But
281 9610. And then my other number's 872 0069. Yeah, I don't know this. I give them It's weird how. I mean, you wouldn't think fence is that busy, but it is.
I'm
Believe it or
getting
not.
new fencing at my place in about 6 weeks, waiting for it to get fencing.
all right, guys, we're gonna head back to the
What time?
White vinyl privacy
Township.
fencing.
Do you? Who's putting that in?
Real good fencing.
She's gonna be leading up that soccer. Oh, really? Okay,
Oh.
she's gonna mention it to you guys about having some spring soccer.
Oh, okay, good. Soccer lady. Okay. Soccer guy, soccer lady, and lacrosse. We've talked to the lacrosse people before,
Very
up at the southeast. Maybe that was it.
I'm sorry. Don't talk to him. He's not allowed to play
Very
sports.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna head back to
He takes
town
all
hall.
my kids. Lacrosse takes my kids.
I know. No, lacrosse is taking our kids. Right now.
Baseball's not a sport.
And Reagan comes in and she goes, I was playing lacrosse.
It was actually the highest
Took you so long, didn't it? What took you so long?
Little chit chat.
Soccer talk. Is that everybody, or do we still miss something? Well, we can go ahead. Yeah, I don't know if we need to make a motion to continue the meeting back here from the ball field, but I'm gonna make that motion just so we know we're covered.
Yes.
All right, so we know,
Tiffany.
Yes.
Ed.
Yes.
Mark.
yes. He's over there right now trying to get his close estimate, but he's thinking right around the $3,000 range is what it's gonna cost for him to go tighten it all up and make it safe. Maybe not pretty, but it's going to be safe for the kids. So, let's talk about that money.
Southeast is willing to split down the middle with you guys if you want to do that. If you want
Okay.
to do 1,500, but if it's less, it's 28, 27, how about we just go 50-50 on the deal? If it's over, we're willing to donate 1,500 towards it.
I'm okay with that.
I would greatly appreciate.
And I think that we could probably get our money from the ARPA grant.
We should have that end of the month.
I think that's first April. I
Yeah.
think can
Well, we
start
had
using
that, well, we got the first dip.
But I don't think we can actually use it until the 1st of April. I think
Right.
it's when the period
So
starts. I think.
we're there, but we
We can,
We could.
we
we're
appreciate
only
that.
talking 10 days away, so. All right,
It's time
so,
sensitive, so I'm thinking, how do we make that all happen?
As far as the benches, I think our excavator will push those back in the ground where they need to be.
but the wood on those things,
We'll have to
that I'm saying,
replace a couple of the tops or whatever.
his idea, we have the old benches where we could just take the aluminum cap and set the aluminum cap on there and bolt those down to there.
If you guys feel like that's necessary, to me, those benches aren't in that bad shape.
Replace those couple of top boards that are rotted, pressure wash them, paint them, and we're good for a couple of years maybe, so.
You'd be fine for now.
I mean, if that's what, I mean, I'm okay with that.
I think we can make that happen to get, so that we can get started this year, then the top is a good, down the road, next year's project or something.
They're no worse now. Paris has some nice benches, but these benches as a whole are no worse than like my benches in Charlestown. They get pressure every couple of years.
Okay.
And so I think they will, I think they will be fine, cleaned up and touched up.
When we get ready to paint them and stuff, you think you guys can get some volunteers to help paint them and stuff?
Yeah, as long as
We'll get them
you
pushed, we'll get them pushed in the ground and get structurally what we need to do.
Can you get these colors and I'll get volunteers?
We can get them.
Okay.
Fine with me.
We met in the middle on another item.
Fine with me.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in agreement, so we can make a motion that Southeast Youth Baseball Association will pay 50%. Deerfield Township.
Up to 1,500.
Up to 1,500.
And if it's less, we'll split, and if it's more, we pay
Right,
50.
so that'll be the motion that we accept the 50% from the Southeast Youth Baseball Association, Deerfield Township. We'll do the other 50%. Did you guys have a chance to look at the contract?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a few updates.
Okay,
that
so.
and I'm going to get this
Let-
all typed up and we'll
Let's get that
Let's
motion.
get that motion out of the way first
Okay,
before we move on.
so that motion is, as far as the cost to fix the fields, my motion would be, that the Southeast Youth Baseball Association pays 50%, Deerfield Township will pay 50% to get the fields in the safe manner for
Up
these
to and
kids.
including 1,500.
Right.
I'll second that motion.
Yes,
Roll call, Tiffany.
yes.
Take us off the list for the flower donation on the circle though. What?
Mark.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
We got plenty of people who want those.
That makes it happen.
Sure.
okay, so now what do you got?
So,
Tiffany?
Did you do roll call or not?
She did.
I did.
Oh, okay,
You
yes.
said yes.
so just some addendums we'd have to add is that which we had already agreed upon, that we're gonna provide one portage on, and anything above that would be provided by you as needed. And that, we would also, so the agreement was for rain days, that, it would be pending availability. So if we have another event scheduled, if we have another thing going that would exclude that, you would have to work around it.
So are you gonna let us know if there's something
The Apple Butter
we're gonna give
Festival
you
is
an-
second week, second Saturday in October now.
You guys
Is
won't
that gonna
plan?
affect you guys or not?
Not at all.
Somebody said it may affect you in tournaments, that's not correct?
No, July
Okay,
would be
because
tournament.
I know we have to have it for our Apple Butter
The
Festival.
most we will do is if we have fall ball teams playing at a localized location, maybe at Brookfield Park or somewhere big enough to house these things, then we may be practicing. But that only extends up until, September, the longest, or it starts in August, and then we don't
Yeah.
play clear into October.
No, it's like
No.
the third week of
Okay.
September.
Yeah.
That was my only
So
concern.
I don't think that would be,
So as long as
And that
there's
would
no
only be
major events
practice,
going on, we
yeah.
just want to make sure that we're not coinciding with something else that the township is doing, which, where I said right now, the Apple Butter Festival is the only one on the schedule. And then, also, I think the 30-day notice to give us your schedule isn't going to be feasible because we're so close to the date, but before you were to start to give us that schedule so we know who's here and when, so we know what's going on.
Right.
One thing I do need to bring up too, before it started out, we have this hall rented out here, so your ball people will have to park back there. We have this rented, we've had to come in before that the renters have no place to park out there because there was tournaments going on or something. This whole parking lot up there is full, we had this hall rented.
Okay,
So
no parking at the town hall.
you
Could we do overflow
you
in the
can
garage?
park at the garage down there, you can park at the park over there.
you got the Oaks Building, you got the
Oaks
park,
Building.
and you have that should be plenty.
I just didn't want to run into that, if somebody pays $400 or $500 to
can
rent
just
this,
let
they
our
come in,
teams
no
know.
place to park, so.
So we do absolutely have that Oaks Building parking lot as well? So-
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Park there, park in the big lot.
Yep, and then right here at the service garage,
Okay.
At the garage down there.
plenty of room.
And we're gonna clean the rocks and everything up back there in the corner, and that'll open up another 6 or 8 parking places
Right.
right back there. We got rocks down there, we'll move them, that'll open up 6 or 8 more places there.
Okay, we run into it at Paris. There's absolutely no parking up there. We can run 2 games max, and we're overloaded. So, generally, if somebody pulls down by the, groundskeeper's building down there at the bottom, then I'll get a phone call, get them out there, but my coaches mainly police that, because it's hard. This one's a little easier, because it's so far from the fields,
Right.
initially for the park here, but if we can get the word out there.
Yep, down there, anywhere over there, and down at the garage is available.
That should be more than,
Are we gonna, did you cover that?
you can get 30.
What?
Yeah, I think it's.
You make a note.
Oh, I need it over here. Yeah, we haven't done that.
Sorry, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead.
In that contract, he was just mentioning where I had made that note on the side, Tiffany, where it said, sounds like, I don't know if you guys, I forwarded the contract with my revisions to Tiffany, but I didn't know if you guys saw it.
I didn't see it.
yet.
Well, here it is.
So, on the side, it says, all cans are to be emptied at the end of the season prior to the removal of the dumpster, and it sounds like you guys provide a dumpster by that language.
We've never, it's always been, the dumpster was provided by the the baseball association. The thing was is that the individual cans at the end of the field, we'd like those emptied every single after game, because the animals will get in there, raccoons,
But
right?
we've never
But,
provided dumpsters at our other locations. We
yeah,
always
see,
take
here
care of
they've
the
always
trash.
done the dumpster.
Okay, well, we don't at Paris and we don't at Charlestown.
Yeah.
We've
They
always,
always
they have the
dumpsters
dumpster.
at
at
the
the
They
parks
have-
Year round.
Can't they just use the dumpster right here?
That's what I was gonna say, we
We
could
have a
probably use
dumpster
this
here.
dumpster
As long
down
as it
here.
doesn't get too, yeah.
Yeah,
Try.
we have a dumpster down at the garage right there, you can, if you have a 4-wheel or something, you can bring the stuff up
That's
and
the
put it in
thing,
there.
for the cans, too.
I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that.
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna work on getting a dumpster deal possibly too.
Depends on the.
Because we'd like to, exactly, because we'd like to have something close, because I like to be able to grab the fence, take more dump and put it back to the fence and chain it down, So we didn't know with the language that that's something that's before.
Yeah, it's always, that's how we've always done it over the years, yeah, they got the dumpsters, and we really didn't need it. Now, in the future, when we expand, and go into soccer and this and that, well then, that's gonna be a different story, because it's gonna be a multi-use, we're gonna have a lot of other things going on at the park. So then at that point, I think that the township probably, we would revisit that.
If I can get a dumpster, because I've got a couple friends, if I can get one at a good price, would you guys be willing to do that, so I'm not that way, maybe, to provide a dumpster so that it's closer down there for us?
that would have to, I don't know how payment-wise, that has to be in the township name for us to be able to pay for it.
Because at Paris, I give them $50, not saying that's a quote, but I give them $50 towards the summer months. What that covers, I'm not sure. Now, I've got a friend that talks about having 3 months, you know, for $150 or something like that, of the use of a dumpster. And it wouldn't have to be a giant cargo dumpster, it could just be something middle range, to where I can get the trash out and maybe skate and show and dump it, so.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that, because that would have to be in Deerfield Township's name, because we cannot pay for
We could,
somebody else's bill.
Sure.
we could agree to pay for it, and then you guys would make a donation to the township for the 50% or whatever we were gonna do. We could do something like that, because we do have to have it in our name. It can't be in your name and then us pay half of it.
Absolutely.
Auditors won't let that. So we could work something out to where you guys make a donation then, a one-time donation to the township.
Is the concern with the dumpster that we have that it's not enough, or it's just not close enough?
Well, it'd just be more convenient, because sometimes I'll get up there and them cans
Yeah, I know.
weigh 75 pounds. And the only way that I have to transport from one place to the other is either to carry them or to put them in my loader, trasher, which a lot of times I just roll up to Paris, take the cans over and dump them.
Dump them and go right back.
That way I don't have to load my tractor, I don't have to come to the field, you know, with the plan, with the wood and all that on it, and just for convenience.
I
That's
mean,
all.
are we okay with that?
I'm okay with that. He's got a good point.
I mean, if we
And
look
there
at,
will be other people
you know,
out there using it.
let's look at this. We're talking about April, May, June, July. How many months?
Yeah.
The 4 months?
Yeah.
And potentially down the road, when we do expand here, we would be able to do more of those things, but just to get started, just to get us going this
So
year.
let's just, yeah, so you're talking a 4-month thing?
Three or four months.
Yeah, okay. And then, so we'll put that in there, that we'll go ahead and provide the dumpster, that the Southeast Youth Baseball Association is going to make a donation towards the dumpsters, and
And if you need me to sign off on it somewhere, I will.
And again, this is just getting started. Down the road, we'll help more.
yeah, if we have
more department
again,
stuff.
if we have soccer and we have lacrosse over there, we have some other activities of volleyball, then that's just, and we get other people coming just not for baseball, and they're coming for other reasons, well, then we're gonna have to go ahead and put a dumpster, a regular dumpster, and
Right, and that's why I brought it up to me today. I think you guys.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's gonna be something, if you guys wanna get that thing up and running. we got-
I'll second Mark's motion that we do that.
So
Okay.
my question is, I guess, so then are you gonna look into the cost, or you're gonna look into the cost of getting a dumpster and let us know? Or what?
well, the only thing I thought of is if he can get a special deal, let's have him look into it first.
Okay.
I will.
And then if you do find it, please contact Tiffany or one of us and say, look, this is who you need to contact. That way we can put it in Deerfield Township's name, and we'll go from there.
Great. And if you
And at the
guys,
same token, we'll call our provider Conrad's and see what we pay.
We need a roll call.
Oh,
Roll call, Mark?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, last but not least, the rest of this contract. Are we okay with it?
Well, I made revisions.
Okay.
And sent them.
Yeah, about the porta-john, so we'll add that on there, that we are providing one.
Correct.
Anything in excess, they are providing.
Right.
And that, the schedule for rain days would just be, you know, per availability, so you just,
Do you want certain, like, do you want to be the point of contact for that? So like, if we reschedule, something on field 2 for a day that it wasn't, you know, do you just want us to let, I mean, how do you
Yeah,
want
she
to
can
work
be in
that?
contact.
and you have the schedule really of what, you know, events
Because
and
it'll,
things
I
we
mean,
have
it'll
going
happen.
on.
I don't anticipate any problems with events over there.
Okay.
But
Just the time.
I don't think so either, it's just the apple butter
That's
festival.
fine, I'll do that.
Okay, just usually
When
with
we
our
do
other
this-
fields, that's what we do. We have one township POC, and we just said, you know,
I
we have a
will be
reschedule.
your contact, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, I think that would be just fine if no one else
Okay.
has a burning
I
desire
mean,
to
I
do it.
can tell anybody, it's just.
who's the lead guy at the garage? This gentleman right here?
No, it's TJ.
TJ, he's not here today.
TJ's not
you can
here.
ask him questions or whatever.
Well, because generally, like at Paris and Charlestown, I got real good relations with the guys that are in the building. Because
Right.
it's nice for me to go up there and say, hey, you know, I'll move this pile of stone out of the way if I can get there, you know what I mean? And so we'll get it, don't worry about it. Things like, just things like that. Can I put a pile of?
They're pretty easy to get along with.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, any of them down there in the garage?
You'll find it very easy to
Yeah.
work with.
So
Yeah.
what I might do, because I always, no matter what's going on, I always give a courtesy call to Rick, run, hey, Rick, I'm gonna bring a few girls up here tonight. You know, is that okay? Is it too wet to bring in field mix? Things like that. The guys are
Yeah.
on the ground, you know.
Donuts do a lot of,
Yep.
get along, as you can see.
And that's never is. Everybody's like.
No, he never has. Okay, so what other revisions do you have?
Tiffany, did you get a chance to look at what else I had done on this actual contract? I had made those notes, I had made those 2 notes in the email.
So do you want to go ahead, let's go ahead and bring them forward now, let's talk about it.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So, on page 1, it said that SYBSA will have no access to utilities or the concession building, but I marked out the utilities because we talked about that.
We agreed at the meeting that you guys can use our electric over there. You just have to provide an extension cord.
Yeah.
Right.
There's power at the back building, at the
And-
concession stand, and at the oak building in the front there are
And
outlets.
there's actually an outlet on number 1.
On number 1 up there, yeah.
On number 1, there's actual
And we can
an
use
outlet.
that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
so I crossed the utilities
Okay.
out,
Okay.
let
And
the
then the
concessions.
water would be available here if you need it at the garage.
Yeah, that's
We do have a
somewhere
well down
else
there,
in
it's
here.
not sustainable.
Okay, and then, besides, like typos or whatever, which I did, which you
Oh,
can go
yeah,
over.
Yeah.
The improvements and alterations to the premises, section 4, I took out that whole first line so that we're not making the repairs and backstops and fences. That said that SYBSA must repair and make safe all backstop and fences. I took that whole line out, because that's not us now.
Right, okay.
Right, because we
Right.
agreed a
Right,
different,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, but this is the contract that's gonna get put in, right?
Right, we're gonna have,
What page is that on?
that's first page.
Oh, right here, I got
section
it,
4.
yeah.
Okay, she got it.
And I made these on the actual one to be
Right.
printed. And then section 5, the cost, I took that whole thing out because
Okay.
it said the cost and expenses of improvements and alterations to be us.
Correct,
Took that whole thing out. We just talked about the dumpster.
Right.
I took out the township is not obligated to furnish or provide any maintenance of any portion of the premises, but, it's still your park, so that shouldn't be. in there.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this was a very rough draft.
Right,
Our
that's why I was
prosecutors
just trying to be
together,
thorough,
so no,
because that left to be.
This is why we
that
want to
was
do
big.
this, yes.
Okay, and so then,
And we will still, we'll still continue mowing all the grassy areas and trimming
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's all
The field
in
itself
here.
is you guys.
that's all in here, yeah.
So SYB maintains the fields, we maintain the area
Right,
around
right,
it.
and it's spelled out elsewhere, I just didn't
Sure,
want that
okay.
in there. And it down in, so I changed the numbering, Tiffany, as you'll see when you turn it into the, down in, so section 7, which turns to section 6, abandonment on premises. It said any personal property belonging to SYBSA left on the park property shall be considered abandoned. I added after expiration or termination of agreement, so that there's not.
Correct.
We just walked away from our stuff. And then so then under utilities, I added SYBSA shall have limited access to utilities and water on the property, and took out other than water by way of hose, just that we will have limited access.
So instead of 60 days, we're making that, after
I put
termination of
90
contract.
days, I put 90 days after the termination or expiration of this
I'm
agreement.
good with that.
That's fine. Got a little T-ball club, don't keep it, okay? We want something. We want that.
Anyways, so, yeah, I put on the park property after expiration or termination of agreement shall be considered abandoned or may be disposed of within, it says, as determined appropriate by township, within 90 days after the termination or expiration.
Okay.
That'll work.
And then it says, SYBSA shall have access to utilities on the property other than water by way of hose. I put shall have limited access to utilities and water on the property, period. I added verbiage into, under the taxes
Where's that
area. And it said,
Section 9 taxes, page 2.
well, it's actually it'll be section 8, but yes. At the last line, it says, shall be deemed a basis for township to terminate this agreement. It's basically, it's talking about us affecting your tax exemption, or it affecting tax exemption status, I added, because it says including profit-making activities shall be deemed a basis for township to terminate this agreement unless otherwise agreed to. I added unless otherwise agreed to in addition to those described elsewhere herein.
What that was in there for is we don't want someone to come in and start having adult tournaments there every Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And they're charging $500 per team. They got 9 teams playing.
Right.
And
'Cause
we're
that
responsible
changes
for
our tax
everything.
exempt
We get
status.
nothing out of that.
Right.
That's what that's for.
But I didn't want that, I thought if we could agree to certain things, if there's whatever, you know, if something comes up and we can come to you guys about it, that's why I thought if we adjusted that and put unless otherwise
Okay.
agreed to.
An example.
So that we can discuss it. If it can't be, that's fine, and it's, unless it's agreed to, then it's no. Does that make sense?
Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, what would you be doing that would be?
We don't think we would be doing anything, but like he just said.
We just were, yeah,
We
I
don't-
didn't
The
understand.
example I would have,
I mean, were you guys planning on having an adult, league?
No, we're not planning on affecting it,
no,
but,
but something that might make money, possibly. Because in this situation, if it applies, and I think it does, is like every year, they'll ask, who would host the tournament?
Correct.
So I could host 3 fields here and 3 fields in Paris and could actually run a tournament.
Right.
With a food truck. But now we've talked to those guys about supplying the township that we're playing in X amount of money for the park because of the usage of it.
Okay.
And so that's something that possibly the league could bring to the table to, you know, we're gonna host a tournament down here, there's no reason to shouldn't make some money for it, it's your park.
Okay.
You know, we
Okay,
get
right,
some-
so it just, so you're only adding on there. and
unless otherwise agreed to.
Okay, that's fine, I'm good with
Fine,
that.
I'm good with that. That
As
makes
long as it's
sense.
prior consent, it
Oh,
just,
absolutely.
yeah, so it just can't be that you just do it and we don't
Right.
know about it, and it's
No,
like,
no,
hey, what's
right,
going on?
right.
Okay, very good, I'm okay with that.
We all understood that that's possible.
I just needed the example because I wasn't sure what kind of
Yeah.
circumstance that would even
No,
arise.
it's good, 'cause
Okay.
I didn't either. And I didn't think it would, but I just thought it was really limited.
Yeah,
If there's
that's
any
good that it's in there.
possibility,
That
either
way
one
we
of
can
us
talk.
could, you know.
They always think I'm not paying attention. You too?
So under the insurance part, it had a line, SYBSA shall provide a written stipulation from insurers that said insurer shall notify township in writing at least 60 days prior to cancellation or refusal to renew any policy with SYBSA. I took that whole line out because I have no idea what a written stipulation from the insurer would be. We're gonna provide you with our insurance. You'll have the certificate.
I think it was if you were to terminate before the end of our contract, that way we would still be covered for the duration of that
But I think you
time.
guys would be notified by them. We wouldn't do a stipulation, we would provide you with documentation. I don't know what a written stipulation,
I think that's a legal thing that the prosecutor put in there, that had to be in there, it has to,
Because of
ask them
insurance.
about it, because
Yeah.
I don't know that it is.
So you guys have your own liability if one of the kids
Yeah.
get hurt or something
Right,
like
we have
that. That's
insurance.
what we're looking, so that we're not
Yeah.
responsible
And that's
for.
what we do with all of them.
With
We
all of
have
them.
our certificate, we'll provide that to you, we give a copy to all of
Yep.
the ones that we work with.
And then we have to be covered on that and are named on
Yeah.
that
Right.
insurance
Yes.
as well
Right.
as a cover.
Uh-huh.
Could I speak to that? Now, provide you with a certificate of insurance, and it's coverage for the kids, no matter whether we're here or at the indoor facility, we're always covered under SYBSA. And the park, of course, is covered as well where we play.
okay?
Those are once a year. It's a total loop from the day that I receive it to the day that same date next year. Like now, Paris, we're practicing, when the fields are dry, we're practicing in Charlestown already.
You're already covered.
Yeah, but it's already covered because we don't receive these things from the league. I haven't received them yet. I put out notices to get them, but just so everybody knows that it's a 1-year loop. We're covered for 1 year from the date we get that insurance. So it's never ending continuum with our insurance once we provide it to you.
Yeah.
So in case you see that we haven't presented you with the certificate of insurance this year initially to get started, of course, once we get that to you, then we're covered. So that you,
Till the
but we're
following year.
covered either way.
Okay, all right.
So anyways, check on that written stipulation. Oh, above that, I had taken out, because we don't provide a copy of our whole policy. We don't have the policy, like, we don't.
Right,
get policy.
it's a
We get
certificate of insurance,
I took out
basically
copy of
what
said
it is.
policy, we provide you with the certificate and who to contact or whatever.
Right, the parent league organization in EO
Right.
baseball, they provide it for all the teams and for the softball teams.
So
as
we're
well.
just excluding the policies and including just the certificate
Yeah, it
coverage.
says
Okay.
to provide copies of policies and a certificate, I took out copies of said policy.
All right, that's good.
The last line, in the event township determines that additional insurance coverage is necessary, such coverage shall be increased by SYBSA, the failure of which town may result in township terminating this agreement. I took that whole thing out. I don't think that's,
What is
you guys
it?
can ask us to increase our, in the event township determines that additional insurance coverage necessary, such coverage shall be increased by SYBSA, the failure of which may result in township terminating this agreement.
Again, something I think the prosecutor felt that it needed to be in there.
I don't agree with that, so I think it should be,
Yeah, because we're completely in the middle there, that would.
yeah.
I mean, I just, well, it's just like the limits of liability, do they feel that they're high enough?
Well,
You know,
they're the same
that's-
across the board for
that's-
every
that's the question.
organization. I mean, we get it through the baseball organization.
Right.
It's the same across the board for everybody. So you guys asking us to increase it would probably, we wouldn't probably be able to.
We
play in the
couldn't
park.
do
We
it,
couldn't
we'd
do
be
that.
in contact with the league, but I mean. they-
I don't see that happening, but again, it
I
just,
don't either, but
I think
that's
this
why I
is
said it
just,
should be
this is
removed
just things that
unless-
I
need
can't
to.
make a decision on that, that's something that the prosecutor will
Right.
have to,
Right.
but I put a note here, I will discuss that with them, because I think it was, we have no intention of increasing the insurance, but
Right.
if some legal reason came up that we would have to be covered, I think that's why that's there, but I'm not a lawyer, so I will ask.
Man, honestly, if something did come up, we would be separated from that as an organization
so,
because
too.
the insurance is covered through the league and they've probably got 100 teams on fields everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Could you resolve that by just putting the amount that's required to be covered in the contract?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's
yeah, I
in
don't,
the- it's already in the certificate.
Yeah, it's already in
Right,
the
but if the
certificate of
contract-
liability.
Like, then the township is covered to say that there's always this much coverage, if it's what you
And I
guys already
think that's,
have.
yeah, I just don't know I haven't seen their policy to know what the limits of liability are
That way, if it
on
drops,
that.
it's an issue for-
And,
oh yeah,
and,
it's on the, it's, where's it on that?
That was
Right.
also
It
secretary
does-
on our
yeah.
board too. That's how
There
that's
is
properly.
there is a statement in there about that.
And forgive my ignorance, do you already have a policy that would have to be drawn up, because it would have to include us, so that we don't have that to see now?
No.
We have a policy and the certificate of insurance that we're gonna receive
Okay.
is gonna be targeted to
So
years.
it's not something that you have now, it has to be something drawn up and done, that's what I'm asking. Okay.
Well, it doesn't have to be,
We will be
We
named
paid
as an
for it, but we
additional,
don't have our-
additional insured in that certificate that we'll
yeah.
get.
Yeah,
We don't
basically,
have
it's
our,
a sign and block.
it's just like leasing a car.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that was
Ford Motor
something you could give me a
Company
copy of
and
that I
that
could take to
person
the
is covered.
prosecutor, so he could look and see if it was,
the certificate, we do not have ours yet. We've
That's
paid
what
for
I'm asking,
them.
okay.
We have paid for our insurance, but they have not provided us with our certificates yet. They are coming. So as soon as they do, I can provide you with that.
Okay.
Which there's a blank in that says for at least whatever occurrence. There isn't a place to put the amount, but it's just if there's an increase is the part that we don't want.
thank you though.
She's my set mine. She's mine.
Next time, wear your uniform.
I'm sorry.
Under transfer of premises and release of liability, it says, in the event township determines to sell or transfer the premises, it may terminate this agreement. I added after 180 days notice to SYBSA.
There's another where it says 180 days,
Right, this is why I made it.
which is why we put the 180
Yeah.
days there too.
I'm sorry, where are you?
She's at,
Section at the,
Section
14.
yeah, and it says, in the event township determines to sell or transfer the premises, it may terminate this agreement. I added after 180 days notice to SYBSA. So that,
That's fine. We have no intention of selling or transferring.
Right.
Yeah, we
we appreciate that.
180 days.
put 180
Yeah,
days.
180 days is somewhere else
180
in there,
days,
that's why I
whatever he
picked
wants
that
to.
number.
100, yeah.
Consistent.
Okay.
Yeah. that's
It'll
what
never
I did.
leave township ownership, but
Okay.
put it, that's fine.
The other thing, then, the next one, termination of agreement, it says this agreement may be terminated by township for cause including but without limitation in any of the following. Then it says, township determines it has a public use and purpose for the premises. I don't think that our agreement, I took that line out. I suggest we take that line out because I don't think that this agreement should be able to be terminated because you have a different use for it unless we discuss it. I mean,
Or
you're
maybe
gonna
we can make that
terminate
say
it.
180 days notice.
Right. We can do that too.
Then you can come to the table.
And it says down there, notice of termination will be served providing SYBSA 180 days
Yeah, that's
notice.
180 days. I
But-
have it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That way we're not
Okay.
interrupting in the middle of a season because, not that we have any
That's
intention
what we were
to,
worried
but
about too, yeah,
Yeah.
just if we have games, it's already scheduled, but 180 days
Okay.
will cover.
Okay.
I guess you can understand where we're coming from,
Yeah.
well, who we had to deal with last time. Okay, so we're making sure that we're covered. And our attorneys know that, they knew what we went through for these last 4 years, so they're really looking out for the township, trying to protect us to make sure we don't ever have to go through that again.
Sure, and we got the same thing on our side, so we
You know.
got Chad review it as well, to, to give us some ideas, but mainly to our side.
Yeah.
Are you okay with 180 days in there then also?
It's
or-
a turn.
Yeah, it's in there. It's
Okay.
in there.
Yeah, I saw it.
So
You're
that's
okay,
fine.
you're
That's
okay
fine.
with that, leave it at
Okay,
that?
that's
Okay.
fine.
I think so, because I think if the township has future plans coming up, then they're in
Yeah.
1 month, you got 6 months.
would take us more than 180 days to do something anyway.
Well, we were just, yeah. our-
We just don't want to be without fields
Yeah.
again. If we've
Sure.
got a schedule going on, we don't want
Completely
to be
understand that.
thrown out.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right,
that was
I
our,
mean, that's our only concern, is protecting.
Seems like a valid concern, sure.
And then at the end, it has, the very last, right before entire agreement, that number 7 says, SYBSA may have access to a portion of the large storage building on the property, access to which will be granted only to officers. Because this was discussed at our last meeting.
Correct.
We changed it to designated persons on behalf of SYBSA.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want 50 people having a key for our
Yeah, no,
building over there. I'd like to
yeah.
have 2 or 3 people have a
We just
key,
didn't want it
so that we know
limited to us.
who's in there.
Yeah.
I know how keys get copied, and pretty soon we've got 30 people to have a key for our building.
Right.
That's my only concern.
So if we could limit that to 2-3 people, or
Yeah.
that's a reasonable request.
Yeah, I don't expect someone to have to come to you to get a key to get in there to get your
Or you
equipment
come down
out.
and
Or
get
you
it
to
in.
come down and unlock it or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
Right,
Right.
that's our
My
best.
question is this, is it always gonna be a key thing, or is there gonna be a combination? There's a combination on our building at Paris.
So it's gonna be a key thing for now.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be key for, that's a key building, so.
Yeah.
I think that was,
Anything else?
I think that was it.
Unless you'd like to donate a keypad that we can install, but we can talk about that down
Yeah,
the
we'll
road.
talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's up, it's your place. It's still-
Okay.
Yeah, for right now, it's a key building, so let's just stick
So,
with that. and-
we'll need to retype this up, all the addendums that we've agreed upon. But that being said, we all agree upon the addendums and whatnot. I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and pass this contract.
Pending.
Pending final approval of our legal
Of
department.
our legal department, correct?
Yes, and I'd happily second that.
And I'll vote yes.
Roll call Tiffany.
Yes.
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 So my intention is to get this all organized and get it to the prosecutor's email this week, and I've already spoken to him. He knows it's a time-sensitive issue. He will look at it Monday, and I guess we'll encourage him to get it done as soon as possible. He had said, within the week, maybe sooner, so, we're pending his approval, but
I will also call him and urge him to make the utmost effort to get this back to us sooner rather
Then
than
we just
later.
need to sign it.
what is your intention to start, of a date to start using fields?
I would say, as soon as it's dry, we've got all of next week, I know the fence guy's talking about the end of next week. It's probably gonna be wet here and cool for the next week or so.
And obviously, we don't want you to be using it until it's safe, so we have to
Exactly.
get that going.
And I've already informed my coaches, hold off fellows, we gotta get this place ready to play, and we gotta get a certificate of insurance over to the township, and I'll let the coaches know as a group, when it's okay to just show up and start.
Are we okay using Bill Dye to do the repairs since he's already looked at it? We should make a motion to
Yes.
hire him to do that. I'll make a motion to hire Bill Dye to make the necessary, as talked about, fence repairs.
Yeah, there was 2 guys. and
I'll
Bill's
second.
one of them.
Yes.
And there's Chad Hoover, he has Hoover fence. Those were the two that I was gonna contact too, to help out if I needed.
You can keep that.
Did you guys have any
Roll call.
other, anybody else
Yes.
estimate?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, anything else?
You looked at?
I'm so
I
sorry.
just didn't know if you guys got any other, estimates, or if that was the only one.
No, we didn't.
No.
Pretty, unfortunately, no.
Well,
It's not ideal, but in
Well,
order
I mean,
for us
for
to
all
get
the work that
quotes-
he's doing, I think that's more than fair.
I knew he would.
And I didn't think, I honestly don't think we're gonna get anything lower than that. I think a lot of it, he's,
And he
Yeah.
knows we need it done, so he will get in, said he will
Right.
get in and get it done so that we can start, which is a big thing.
In which you guys are paying for half of it, so is it okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with us, yeah.
I mean, it's a time
I
sensitive
didn't know
issue. If we had
normally
another
how
month,
they-
we could get more quotes and do that, but it seems reasonable and he seems that he understands the urgency to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Now
Good,
I gotta-
good.
Now I
Okay.
gotta talk to Bill about the $1,000 sponsorship so we can put a sign up there. Yeah, fencing.
That would be innovative and creative and would be supported by me.
Well, they had sponsorships up there before, banners that you guys, you're
Yeah.
more than welcome to do that
We
again.
always bring in,
Get banners and put 'em on the fences and
suggested
stuff.
banners.
all right, well, that being said, we're gonna be playing ball finally. So, great.
Thank you.
And also, I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
I will second that motion.
And I will say yes.
Roll call, Tiffany.
Yes.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes. Yeah, the only reason we can't talk about your thing is because this
We adjourned the meeting because we had a.
You need your own special meeting.
meeting had only been
Get your own
with all about.
We can't discuss it until we close this
Here, bud.
meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
I'm pretty stoked.
You guys
About time.
come up, close.
Too bad we couldn't.
Thank you. We're super excited.
$3,000.
Yeah.
Three? Yeah.
We would have
You gotta sign a
certificate of
contract.
insurance also. That's only if one of your players is
I can give
hurt
you
during
some
the
things on contract.
course of the game.
Work out.
They don't want us,
Because again,
they won't cover
we can
injuries
just
like
say
yours.
that's for lacrosse.